everyone in this house, and I'm not going to bring my kids into this, but everyone in this house was learning something during the pandemic. And that financial literacy just kicked in hardcore. Like, it just made too much sense. Started mapping things out and saw that we could live so much better. And we weren't living bad. We weren't, like, don't get me wrong, like, we weren't living bad, but we can live so much better. And that's just what happened, like, just skyrocketed. So that was really the real wake up call, was basically the pandemic and being exposed to a lot more tools that I wasn't aware of previously.
That's dope. You said something right there. I don't think you peeped that bar though, but you was like, the financial literacy just made too much sense. That's a double entendre.
Hey, don't say all my stuff, Mars. Don't say all.
That's a double entendre. Right. It made too much sense, man. Pimping, beautiful people. Episode 3.
Yes.
Boots in the bag.
Yes.
Boots in the bag, and today is a special episode. Shout outs to Kareem. He got some beautiful special guests for us that's gonna talk to us about how getting in the boots got him to get in the bag. All right, so definitely stay tuned. Get your notepads, get your pencils or your pens, and really lock in on this one, because a part of getting the bag is not just about the money, but it's about the education. It's about being in the know and making the right financial decisions. When we're talking about credit, we're talking about credit reports, talking about all that stuff. So we have some well-educated people here that is going to set us straight. All right?
Living testimony, by the way. Like,
living testimony.
Work, so I know, right?
Right?
But these people coming up right now, man, they're going to speak for themselves. When I tell you, you're going to be blown away. Guaranteed. Make sure you get your minds ready.
Make sure. Lock in. What do we say? Free game, free game.
Yeah.
All right, we ready to jump in. So without further ado, let's get into it with Mr. and Mrs. Telvin and Chína Payne.
My name is Telvin Payne. I did 20 years in the United States Navy. And since then, I have learned a lot, and I have elevated my own life and my family's life. So we are on a path to that financial freedom that everybody talks about.
Yes. I'm Chína Payne, and together we are Motivate to Elevate M2E, and looking forward to this evening's discussion.
Word. I appreciate you blessing us with y'all presence right now. So without further ado, I know them very well. You know, we go way back. But I want you to tell the people a little bit about the mission statement of M2E. Like, what is your mission? What's your goal?
Very simple. Our mission statement is we help people improve their credit so they can improve their quality of life. That is the bottom line.
Yeah, it's real. I like that. Straight to the point.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Credit is often slept on, right? Especially in the Black community. A lot of things we don't know, right? So what does that entail, right? So you fix your credit. All right, now I got this good credit. Like, tell me some of the moves I can make with my good credit.
Well,
I guess, the why. Yeah.
Why
do I need outstanding credit?
Right.
So here's my thoughts. If you do not plan on leaving the United States of America, right? You plan on staying here for the long haul, you're going to live your life out here, you're going to raise a family out here. Wouldn't it make sense to learn how the country operates economically? Just makes sense, right? So as a community, we come up without a lot of these nuggets and these gems and how to put these things together. We've all heard bits and pieces of this strategy, that strategy, or what you should be doing, but how to put all of that together into a well-oiled machine and become your own bank. That is what we are about.
You said your own bank.
Your own bank.
You said bank? How?
Where did you do that?
How can you be your own? So tell me.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, facts. Tell me what that means, right? Becoming your own bank. What does that mean for the average American?
Absolutely. So like Telvin was bringing up, as far as it relates to credit, so many of us have been deterred from credit. Their slogan, what is it? Cash is king. Cash is not king.
Not anymore. Yeah,
Cash is a side chick at best. Or
Coin it, write it down. Write it down.
credit is
I need to see that. I need to see that front on your website. Cash ain't king. It's a side chick at best.
side chick at best. So by becoming your own bank, what does that even entail? It means that you have built and facilitated objects in place so that you don't have to rely on institutions. You are the institution. When you build your credit and you open up the many doors that brings and affords you, it's monumentous. I know we're going to get into like further details and so on, but that's really the bottom line. Improve your credit, understand what your credit score is, understand what your credit report has on it, and so on. Do not make bad decisions. Mars made a good point earlier about making the financial decision. One of the 7 key elements that we share with individuals is there's 2 decisions you have to make. That's the financial decision and that's the investment decision. All right. Knowing that you can't live day to day, was it hand to mouth, foot to mouth, whatever the case might be, right? Check to check. And all you military people out here, there's a piece of check to check that I just want to hit on real quick. Sorry. There's check to check, like I can't do X until I get paid on the 15th, right? Then there's the other check to check, which we were definitely culprits of, which is I have money left until I get paid again. Let me go burn this. All right.
Wow.
That's check to check as well.
So you're saying do
not do that. Some of the
you bet not.
Right. We learned so much. Once you have access to credit and you build in, like I said, those tools, especially if there's home ownership involved, you don't need to go to the bank because you can utilize equity or your line of credits that you've already been improved upon. So there's just plenty there that you don't have to run and fill out an application and worry about someone approving you or disapproving you, and the anxiety that is just too much.
Yeah, I remember. So you said, living check to check and whatever. A lot of us are still in that realm where, financial literacy isn't a thing, right? So when was your wake up call? Like, when was it like, you know what?
Both of y'all, like, because I know it's different for both
maybe,
of y'all.
Yeah. Right.
Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. So we started looking into investing, right? Because now we're at the point where we're trying to get away from living check to check. So, we're pretty smart. We're like, okay, we need to start investing for our future.
This while you were in?
This is after retirement.
After retirement.
Full 20-year career. I used them paychecks wrong. I didn't know better, right? I just did what I was supposed to do. I paid my bills and I lived, right? So this is what I learned. We started looking into investment opportunities. So one of the things we looked into was what do you call it?
Angel investing.
Angel investing, right? So,
Angel investing?
Before companies are going public and on the market, they're looking for investors. So they started opening these things up to average people, right? And they sell this as, well, everybody can invest now. But this is what we learned. Unless you are an accredited investor, which means your net worth is over $1 million, or you have X amount of assets, there's so many criteria, we couldn't even get into it. Now, at this point, we're making decent money. We're making a lot of money. So imagine if you got into Amazon when it was starting up, right?
Oh,
right. Think about the growth. People made millions upon millions of dollars. Average investors that they opened this up to, there's a cap on how much you can invest. For example, some of the platforms you can only invest was like $2,500 or something like that. Even if you hit that home run, you might get hundreds of thousands, maybe a million, but you're not going to hit that home run like the big dogs do it. So what I did learn, to answer your question specifically, I calculated my net worth because that was one of the criteria. We have a nice big house. We had 2 modern vehicles. We had all the things people could want, right? All the American dream things. Come to find out, my net worth was negative $88,000.
What?
Yeah.
Negative.
Wow.
I understand that.
Wow.
I had mine calculated. I want to say right after me and my wife found out we was pregnant. So this was April. So it was like, all right, we got to get real serious. Like, I've always been serious, but I was like, we got to get real serious. And it was so uncomfortable to sit there with the financial professional, and she going through everything. And my wife is light skinned, so when her face turned red, you see it. And she like, you got any questions? She like, and I'm like, yo. So I definitely get that.
Yeah, that was my wake up call. That was my wake up call.
So I'm gonna get to you in a minute, Chína. But so is there an app? Like, what are y'all doing? How do y'all calculating your net worth? You just putting it all together? And
I don't know about him. Like I said,
by two.
For me, I was with a financial professional. So
okay, right,
so she just had us plug in stuff to a spreadsheet, and boom.
Yeah, she did. Was it what you thought it was gonna be?
Nah. I honestly, it was one of those things I didn't really have an expectation.
Okay.
But what it was like, okay, it's not the worst thing ever. It's not the worst thing, but we can definitely improve on that.
Gotcha.
You have the floor now.
Most certainly.
Wait, hold on. He didn't say how he calculated his.
Oh yeah, how did you
I
calculate?
did an online calculator. You just fill out all the
Okay.
bills and it calculates.
Easy day.
Quick
All right.
Google search.
Yeah, you're right.
So as far as my wake up call, it came a little delayed. I grew up a certain kind of way, you know, the struggle is real and all that. When I left the military, unfortunately, it was a medical retirement. So things were a little bit like wonky for me, right? But I have like that hustler spirit, you know, I can make money, right? So,
that's what I'm telling you. Yes.
Went to school, all that. Bought my first house at 25. I thought I was doing fantastic things, solo dolo, just me and my dog, right?
Right.
And so because I wasn't living the way I lived growing up, I thought I was fine. I thought I was square. My bills was always paid. I didn't have terrible credit. It wasn't good credit though, because I wasn't educated on what it entailed to have an appropriate credit score or credit report, so to speak. Not the nice credit mix. I had the house. That was it, right? Doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
So, believe it or not, when we purchased this home, which was only a few years ago, I've always been a sponge. And again, I'm glad you guys are doing this podcast because really so many folks, you only know what you're exposed to.
That's right.
And I wasn't exposed to certain things that I just so happened to learn when we closed on this house, right? So when we closed on the house and then the pandemic broke out, while everyone else was Netflixing and chilling, I was YouTube and Earn Your Leisuring and like,
hey,
shout out Earn Your Leisure.
Doing everything in my power to capitalize on the time. You know, everyone in this house, and I'm not going to bring my kids into this, but everyone in this house was learning something during the pandemic. And that financial literacy just kicked in hardcore. Like, it just made too much sense. Started mapping things out and saw that we could live so much better. And we weren't living bad. We weren't, like, don't get me wrong, like, we weren't living bad, but we can live so much better. And that's just what happened, like, just skyrocketed. So that was really the real wake-up call, was basically the pandemic and being exposed to a lot more tools that I wasn't aware of previously.
That's dope. You said something right there. I don't think you peeped that bar though, but you was like, the financial literacy just made too much sense. That's a double entendre.
Hey, don't steal all my stuff, Mars. Don't steal.
That's a double entendre. Right. It made too much sense, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Right. So you said credit. We got to get to that. We're gonna get.
Yeah.
To
go ahead.
Right. But right. So in your M2E program, in the is it a program or is it like a what is it M2E exactly?
I guess you could say, like, what services do you guys provide?
We provide credit counseling. So all things credit. If you just need your credit repaired, or you're trying to buy a house, trying to buy a car, you're just trying to get your credit scores up to, you know, what you feel is a good place. What a good standard is, average across the country, if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, so credit counseling, everything credit, how to use your credit. It's one thing to have good credit, but what
I
are you
like
going to
that.
do with it?
Right.
I like that. That people don't talk about that enough. How to use the credit.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's where our
Yeah.
second, I'm so sorry, Mars. I didn't mean,
No.
that's
Go
where
ahead.
our
My fault.
second
Go
arm
ahead.
really comes into play is the strategy. So the strategy that we started to employ to propel ourselves requires you to have decent credit, you see? So, man, as soon as we learned what the what was, wanted to reach out and touch as many people as possible. But here's the thing, not everyone is eligible to execute the process. And they're not eligible because their credit ain't right. So if you're not ready to have this sit down and talk with me as far as how to employ the strategy for your own benefit, you can always go through our credit repair branch, get your situation to where it needs to be, come back, and then
Ready to rock.
lightning.
So you're saying everyone could possibly do this process?
If you make more than your expenses are, it's too easy. It's too easy. Change your man. It'll change your situation.
Yes.
Do you So I'm a real estate agent,
Yes.
so I come across a lot of people who could use some credit repairing. Do you guys have a lot of people that are ready to do the work? Because a lot of times what I see is people are excited,
Right.
to get a house, and the first thing they want to do is see a house. And I'm like, before we see it, we need to see if you could afford the house.
You're qualified.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then they get pre-approved, and when they like, oh, we got to do some credit repair, it demotes all of that happiness. And I'm like, we still got to do the work.
Exactly. You being a real estate agent is key right now, in my opinion. And let me tell you why. First and foremost, before you can become wealthy, what do all of the wealthy people get into? Real estate. And you start with your home, like where you live. Everyone needs that roof. That should be number one in the playbook, point blank, period. All right. As far as the strategy is concerned, the strategy, I show people how to pay their house off in under 10 years. How do you do that?
What?
Oh, yeah. One more time.
I'm coming to y'all. I'm coming to y'all. Coming to y'all. Quickness. I'm on my way.
I show individuals how to pay off their home in under 10 years. All right. And it can be accelerated even further than that. All right. Again, you have to make more than what is going out of your house. All right. Now, as far as Telvin and the credit is concerned, your credit has to be intact, right? In order for that to take place. So Mars, to your point, as far as like wanting to put in that work, 100%, because the strategy requires discipline, just like home ownership requires discipline. It does. Okay. So with that being said, individuals come to you and their credit ain't right and they want to go look at houses. You can't come look at a house if your score is like a 619. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, right? Get your credit squared away, learn the strategy. Not only are you having an improvement in your credit profile, but now you're walking into your home ownership with a completely different mindset, completely different. How many of us have parents, grandparents, and so on? I gotta work until this house is paid off. Like, no, sir. No, sir. My house is gonna be paid off when my kids hit middle school.
Right.
Ooh.
Right.
All right. So yeah, I'm sorry, Mars. Go on with it.
No. I was like, dang, can you imagine?
Right.
Your kids only in middle school and your biggest expense is gone.
I'm trying to tell you. And for those that are listening, that are tuning in, and you may not be in the home purchase mode, the strategy works for any debt. As soon as I learned it, I applied it to the home, and we also eliminated the expenses of our cars, because what does that do? It provides more cash flow, and the cash flow can go right into the house.
Right. Oh, wow.
Man,
now,
go ahead.
Real quick. So I've heard that when you do pay off a house, you lose some tax benefits. Is that true? Not like early. I'm just asking. I'm not sure.
If you pay off the house early?
Yeah, if you pay it off early.
Tax
I'm not a
benefits.
tax expert, so
I'm not
I can't
neither.
get into
And
it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I made a
respect.
squishy
Right.
face because service connected. So with
Yeah.
that, I'm not really stunting on taxes.
I just want to
No issue.
touch on paying off the house early. Do you understand what that means?
Right.
Yeah.
Most people are locked into 30 years. If you are real disciplined, you have a situation in 15, but 30 years. I had to look up the definition or the translation of mortgage. You know what that means? A death pledge.
That's right.
Yeah.
Death pledge, because most people don't pay it off in their life.
And yeah, like you just said, most people never pay off a mortgage.
I'm gonna
That is
I'm gonna tell you about one of our first clients. All right. This individual came to me with the understanding that it would be to their benefit to take out a home equity loan.
Mhm.
If I could have reached to the phone and apply some physical discipline, do not take out a home equity loan. Now, those that are listening, do not be offended and whatnot, but it wasn't the best play. The best play was actually to take out a HELOC. Okay. In six weeks, instead of taking that loan that would have only covered a high balance credit card and knocked out a car, and she still would have been paying her mortgage and paying back the home equity loan. Instead, you take the equity, you apply it to the mortgage, pay off the house completely, all right, and used the HELOC in the strategy that I teach folks to knock out the rest of her expenses and route, like just a whole different ball game. So when I say under 10 years, that's under 10 years if you just got your house.
Okay.
Right. So if you're already deep into your mortgage and your amortization cycle, all right, there's possibilities that you can knock out your house even sooner than that. All right. So I just wanted to share that piece.
So real quick before we move on from that, what does HELOC stand for?
Home equity line of credit. That means that your home has built equity. So what does that mean? That means that your principal balance has lowered since you purchased it, and the home value has gone up because in 99% of the time, what is it? Your home value, the home real estate appreciates, right? So as that gap grows, that's your equity, okay? And your HELOC, when you tap in, and you don't even have to go through the bank that financed your house. There's plenty of institutions that offer HELOCs. And now you have access in a revolving manner, like a credit card almost, right? That is equivalent to approximately 90% or less. I think some institutions, I think they range between 80 to 90% of the complete equity. You have access to that. Now, guess what? You don't have access to that if your credit is trash. All right. They're not going to approve that.
There you
So
go.
everybody who's salivating right now, right? It sounds real attractive. When I tell you it's worth every ounce of frustration, sweat, tears, all that jazz, late nights, trust me, it's worth it to have that kind of access so that, man, when I tell you, I ain't stressed. I ain't stressed.
Yeah. I can attest to it because Tal will constantly in our group chat, hey, man, you need to. Man, I'm going to Dubai or I'm going to Charlotte. I'm like, what the heck is the lotto? He didn't want to tell us, man. But I definitely believe, and you will gain a client very, very soon.
I just said hit the lotto. Let me jump in here real quick. Don't forget. You said hit the lotto, right? What is the expectation if we hit the lottery? If we hit the lottery, we're supposed to break bread, right? You're supposed to take care of everybody. But if I have the knowledge to improve your life, week to week, why wouldn't you want that same knowledge? I'm telling you how to get the bag. I'm telling you how to play the long game. And a lot of people are just repel knowledge, man. It is hard to give away free knowledge.
It's wild.
That is one thing I learned. Sorry, Mark.
That's I mean, that goes back, and we're gonna go deep for a quick second, but that goes to people want instant gratification nowadays. And as much as I'm on social media is to blame a lot for that, because on average, people attention span they only want to see 3 seconds of a video before they scroll to the next, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got, TikTok, Instagram Reels, people swiping until something can grab them for more than 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it translates into every single part of their life without them even realizing.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, we minimize social media over here. Like the kids don't even know social media at all, right? Yeah. But that's what's up. I wanted to ask one more. So the HELOC and what's the other alternative? Is the HELOC or the person took out
A
a
loan.
No. They were being marketed to take out a loan, and I advised against it.
Got you. Yeah.
Okay. So home loan. All right. So to touch on that, right? So HELOC, you just got your house, right? So you're saying it's in the first 5 years of having a house?
Yes.
Right? Before that amortization of it, I guess goes more towards paying taxes, I guess, or interest. My bad, not taxes. Right.
Yeah. So,
right. What is that year mark? What does that look like? So like, when is it that you start paying more taxes than you start paying the principal?
Paying more principal versus interest. Typically, on the amortization cycle, if we're talking about a 30-year mortgage, it's around the midway point. And this is my symbol for that, just so everybody knows this is my symbol, because it symbolizes the curve of principal low at first, and then you pay more later. And this right here, which is like you're paying more in interest, you see, and then it goes down. So that's my symbol, right? So with that being said, usually it's the midway point, the 15-year mark, sometimes after. It really depends on the home, the structure of your mortgage itself. As Mars knows, there's plenty of different types of mortgage types. You have adjustable rates, you have fixed rate. All right. We were fortunate enough to fall in the program where military members, we were granted, like you could refi your house, no cash out. You don't touch anything that has to do with the equity, just to lower the interest rate.
The interest rate.
Had a decent interest rate to begin with, and then it dropped down to the 2s.
Ooh. What? Yeah, that's the VA EARL, the interest rate reduction loan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that still active, Mars? Just off GP, sorry. Side note.
I'm not sure. I'm not a mortgage.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. You might have been in the.
Nah, yeah.
Called him out.
Nah. I'm a real
estate agent.
Give
him back. You gotta give.
I apologize. No. I was just curious. I apologize.
I keep mortgage professionals in the chamber, so I'll get back to you on that. But sure. I think from research I've done, that's something that's around, but it just depends on your situation, whether it's marketed to you or not.
Right. I can
hear. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so we're talking about the HELOC. I'm staying right here, right quick. I know we gotta.
We gotta talk about cars. We gotta talk about other stuff.
I know you're about to grab something, Reem, but just so you know, I'm gonna give y'all just our own situation. Our own situation. We were decent. Okay. We were okay. All right. My credit was not attractive. Alvin's credit was more attractive. I'm not gonna say it was attractive, but it was definitely more attractive than mine. All right.
Okay.
So as a team, as a duo, because even when we work with individuals, this is good for the listeners as well. When we work with individuals, if you are married, I will not sit with you unless your spouse is there.
I like that.
You see, because it is a joint effort, everyone needs to be on board. Okay. What I did was I took a backseat for a little bit. We focused on his credit to make his credit absolutely attractive. Right. We were able to do the Mars, what you call it, the interest rate reduction, the EARL. We were able to do that within the first year purchasing this home. Okay. So when we ended up basically refinancing to get that lower interest rate, it didn't add on multiple years to our existing mortgage. All right. We applied the strategy and so on. Okay. And then what just happened? Everyone knows what just happened. The housing market went ape crap, right? Now, mind you, we closed on our house in 2019. The peak of this mortgage situation was just the other day, right?
Yeah.
I already have a HELOC, all right? And I don't want to plug a company unless I'm allowed to. Am I allowed to plug another company? So we use Avon. So if you're not familiar with Avon, their claim to fame is they are a HELOC in the front and a credit card in the back. So it's a card that I received from this institution. They are a reputable bank as well.
Oh, they sent me
Oh,
some.
you might want to take a look because what they do, the process is crazy fast. They use
Yeah.
analytics to do your home assessment. You don't require
Mm.
someone to come out and give you an appraisal and all this. All right.
Yeah.
They use analytics. They gave me my approval upon submission.
Mm.
All right. Next thing
Wow.
I know, I had access to the equity of my home.
Wow. So
Oh man.
what number do you need to be in order to go? So like, do you need like 40,000, $50,000 of equity? Like, how much equity you need
They
to have
like
before
the
it touches your life?
LTV
Yeah.
loan to value ratio.
Yep. Loan to
They
value.
like
Yep.
that to be 80%. So put that in perspective. Okay.
Mm.
So Chína, how did that happen if you only just got your house?
Just
All
got the
right.
house,
You
right?
get the house in 2019, refi
Mm.
before 2020 closes out. All right. We employ the strategy, taking credit and applying it to the principal of the house. Because remember, in order to build equity, the principal needs to go down and the value of my home needs to go up. So there was an
Mm.
acceleration of that because of the housing market. So by employing the strategy
Ooh.
plus the housing market going up, man, it was sick, like
Yeah.
absolutely
Right.
sick. Then,
Yeah.
by the grace of God, my student loans were forgiven. My student
We
loans,
may have some haters in
look,
the
look, real
comments.
quick, for those, if you are a veteran,
Mm-hmm.
holla
Mm-hmm.
at me about student loans. I'm just gonna put that out there because your
Hey.
girl had 130K in student. Say
Wow.
it, say it again for the
Wow.
people in the back. 130K. All right,
130.
130,
Yeah, that's
one, 1, 3, and some change. There was some change involved. So once the loans were forgiven, my
Mm-hmm.
credit score then became very attractive.
Jumped.
On top
Yeah.
of what Telvin had learned and had me like the
Mm-hmm.
it was significant. All right, because keep in
Wow.
mind that equity means nothing to me if my score, my credit is not squared away, right?
Mm.
And
Yes.
everything just landed where it needed to land,
Right.
and here we are.
So I'm getting the notion that credit is really important
Just a tad, just
in our lives, just a little bit, maybe.
So what you got to do? You got to take the old song. You got to replace cash with credit.
Mm.
Credit rules everything around me. Cream.
and get the money.
What is cash? Cash is a depreciating asset, right? See what
Mm.
inflation is doing right now. You go to
Yeah.
So if you got 75K sitting in the bank since I don't know 1990 something, what is that worth today?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So if you have
I think.
stacks of cash sitting around, you're making a big mistake.
Making a big mistake.
Mm.
See, I think inflation is at 7.7% right now. And, yeah, and we were just looking at the military pay increase coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest jump people have seen in years, but it's still not enough to combat inflation. That
Right.
it's like, if for everybody watching and listening, if you don't understand inflation, understand that military is about to get the biggest increase in 20 years. There's an article, I'll send it, but it's still not enough to combat inflation.
Right.
That is insane.
Yeah. So we need these tools to combat inflation
100%.
and whatever else is gonna come our way, right? So, right. So another thing they said a while back when I was going through, right before I got the house, right, we did a credit card utilization.
Yeah.
I wanted to call it a hack. Talvin got me. I want to call it a hack. So
We don't
it's a
do hacks,
process,
we only talk
right?
facts.
Right.
Ooh. That listen, how many bars is that?
I'm kind of a writer
I'm a writer, not a writer.
for myself and others. I do a big verse. I'm only bigging up my brother.
Alright, bet. All right.
Say it with me, Mark. Say it with me.
Right.
I'm here. Listen, I'm locked in. Go ahead.
Right. So what was that, Tav, you can expound upon that, right? We're talking about using the credit card to pay our, monthly bills, making sure our income is more than the outgoing.
Man, look here, bro. Math is math, right? Everybody
Right.
learned if you graduated from high school, if you're in the Navy or in the military,
Mm-hmm.
you know enough math. You just don't know how to use it. You have money on the 1st and 15th or whenever people get paid and you are paying your bills. You're already paying the bills. Could you not use a line of credit that offers you rewards? Right? You see Kevin Hart, you see all these celebrities on these commercials
Samuel.
all day, every day. Cash back this, reward that. Why are you spending cash?
Why?
If you already got the money for your bills, why are you spending cash? What do you get back for spending cash?
Right.
Mm,
To my young military members, we're starting out and your check is already like, I know you wish you had more, right? I know I wish I had more, right? You want to fly home. You want to see your people. You want to see your family. Why not have an Air Miles credit card taking care of your cell phone bill? And you're going to pay the bill anyway. Might as well pay some miles so you can go see your mom, right? Like it just makes sense. So
the airline thing points pay your credit your phone bill with your.
I didn't know that.
Ooh, this is some gems. All right. So
wait. Rewind. Make sure that you said that correctly. Using the Air Miles credit card to pay your cell phone bill or other bills.
Yeah. I didn't know you could do that.
What?
Any money you spend. I mean, you got to look at these terms of these cards.
Right,
They're telling you for every dollar you spend, we're gonna give you 3 times the points.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? There's also ways, depending on the structure of your mortgage and your lender, where you can use your credit card to pay your mortgage. So imagine the rewards associated with that.
If I could pay my mortgage from
ain't no if, it's find out.
About to find out.
It's find out.
There's so much out, man. When I'm trying to.
What do most people use credit cards for?
Emergencies.
Purchases. I guess.
Hold on. What most people are we talking about?
Oh, right. In our
most people
in our community.
Yeah.
Credit card.
When you like your first 4 years in, you using that credit card for almost everything.
I ain't had no credit card first.
You had one? I had one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No.
I have, man. I give you a quick experience, right? So, no financial literacy, no financial education.
Right.
Only other than what they give you while in boot camp, but we all know you are fighting for your life to stay awake in these classes. Right. I'm telling you.
Right.
So the dude bobbing up there, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't know none of these terms. But I get out, and I get a credit card because it's not that I have bad credit. I just didn't have no credit. Right. But I'm in the military now, so Navy Fed is like, we'll give you a credit card with most you can spend $500, whatever. So I'm like, oh, whatever. So one night, I'll never forget this. I'm on Great Lakes base, and we about to go out, and I'm like, shoot, I don't got no money in the check-ins, but I got this credit card though, and I could pull out some cash though.
So cash through the
man,
which is even worse.
That's an advance.
Let me get $100 just in case.
Wow. Dang. Wow. Talk about going down the rabbit hole, bro.
Yes, man.
So
I bet that got bad real fast, right? They ain't get no credit card. Yeah. So, oh man, paying your bills with your credit card, right? That's a good one. That's a good method because you're already gonna get the cash back from the credit card.
I gotta get on that.
There we go. That's a gem.
So
let me see what else I can get from y'all for the. You about to say something?
What's gonna happen when you do that, right? For one, if you're only using your credit card for emergencies or for important purchases or whatever, you're never going to meet the requirements to get these rewards, especially the promotions, right? So when you have a promotion, they say if you spend $3,000 within the next 90 days, you get 100,000 points. You're never going to beat that if you're just using it here and there. So if you're paying all of your monthly expenses, which most people that live in an established household, whether you're single or just starting, most of those people, their expenses are over $1,000 or $2,000, right? So you're racking up the points. The other thing that happens when you work through a line of credit, when you get paid on the 1st and 15th, how much money do you have in your account? Whatever they put in there, right? Work through a line of credit, that is flipped. Now your wallet every month is that credit limit.
Explain.
So if you have a credit card and the limit is $10,000, if you only get paid, let's say $3,000 every month.
Right.
When that $3,000 runs out, how you get more money?
Right, zero.
You have to get paid again, right?
You gotta get paid again.
Credit, if the limit is 10,000, the limit is 10,000 at all times.
Right.
So every month, instead of having $3,000, you have $10,000. But you're not just gonna go spend $10,000.
Right.
You Only
Right.
here's the thing about credit and the fear associated with it. Especially in the brown communities, we hear don't go rack up a bunch of debt, right? So people have a fear of using credit cards. Don't have that fear. If you don't take your check, your cash, your check, and go just throw it away and spend on everything, you wouldn't do that with a credit card.
Right.
People,
Right.
You
yeah, you
right.
wouldn't do it.
You right.
And hence the
So,
discipline. I want to expound on it a little bit because I think I know where Reem is going here.
Mhm.
The strategy, okay? You have a line of credit. We're going to use the same terms as Telvin just mentioned, having a $10,000 credit limit card, right? And let's say you're Mars and you done went to the E Club and
nah.
the jam band, you tipping everybody like
And I was like,
you doing the absolute most. All right. Your credit card is almost maxed out. It's
yeah.
Telvin talking about how am I gonna pay my bills? The strategy, you take your salary and you apply it towards the credit card. When you make more than your expenses, your line of credit has no choice but to go down. All right. It's going to go down every month as long as you're not being crazy, hence the discipline aspect of it. Okay.
You gotta. That's the thing here. You need the discipline.
I just had an
When
awakening.
you do that,
It
when
makes sense.
when you go that route, okay, the thing is your bill, you never have to worry about, oh, I got to pay this credit card bill. You don't have to, because you're dumping your salary onto the credit card.
Right.
That's right.
All right. Part of the discipline also has to do with understanding what Reem mentioned earlier, the utilization piece, right? You guys have zero idea, but this is what I do, and I love helping people with this. Taking the strategy, applying it to your own situation, because what happens? You might get paid on the 1st and the 15th, but when is your bill due? Bill is on like the 23rd. When do they report to the credit bureaus on this date? This that's a lot of dates and such and such that you need to make sure that you're aware of. I live for that. I am like a Tetris goddess. That's my old handle, right? Like I live to problem solve. So I can take dates, balances, all that jazz, and show you how you can place it in the most beneficial way with you in the utilization of the strategy. Get that credit squared away, get your bills squared away, and on top of that.
Wow. Most people I know too have a high limit credit.
Because they got Navy Fed, don't they?
Navy Fed,
Navy Fed.
Giving them away. Like,
it was a. I want to say hack, but he just said Telvin.
We don't do hacks.
Right.
I don't even know. So I seen a status. I seen on Facebook. This is not something I did.
Disclaimer.
Okay. They was like, go file for a high limit credit card with whatever bank. This particular bank, they credit card department go home at 11 p.m. and they don't come back until 6 a.m. So when you apply between those hours, it's just a computer system approving. Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, that's why I was like when I seen that viral post out there, I'm like, y'all better.
A lot of people ate.
Y'all better be careful.
A lot of people ate off that.
But yeah,
a lot of people ate off that. But oh man, that is a gem. Using your credit card, as long as you're making more than your bills going out. Which a lot of military people are in because we dang to get kicked out for financial out for some financial problems. So most of us are already in a position where our money is coming in 1st and 15th like clockwork, and our bills aren't as much as our monthly income. So that is and you're gonna get the cash back off that. Man, okay. How can we reach you guys? How can we reach you? Where's your website?
Our website is www.mym2e.com. MYM2E. Motivate to elevate.
And that'll be at the bottom on we'll put that in the in the description.
I got you. Yeah. Before we get out of here, I do have just one more question because you said the business is everything credit, right? What is some not everyday situations you guys handle just to give people an idea of like the range of your business. Because yeah, when people think of credit repair, they think of like, I need to get my credit up.
Yeah.
But there might be some things
Bankruptcies.
that if you don't know, then you don't know to ask.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
So I will tell people this, the listeners. When it comes to credit consulting and repair, the consultation is key.
Gotcha.
The consultation is key. If you Google credit repair, it's going to be about 10,000 businesses come up, right?
Right.
Before you hand over your financial health to any individual, you need to make sure they're educating you.
Right.
And I will take this back to the social media, and this is my take on that. The most important question people can ask, listen to this, and I tell people this all the time. When you see a piece of information anywhere, you need to ask this question. Who told you that?
Right.
Who told you that?
That's that J. Cole.
When you're on social media, and this is what we did. We did get introduced to some things through social media. But when it comes to credit and these type of things, I didn't stop
Right.
at a course that I bought. Same with the stock market. I didn't stop at the course that I initially saw. I have to go to the entity. What entity controls credit, right? So you have the CFPB, which oversees the bureaus. You have the credit agencies that do the reporting. First of all, you need to be educated. And to take it way back, full circle to the beginning of this conversation, one of the most important things is having that financial mindset.
Right.
Because if you have that mindset, the things that you want, it's like working out, right? Once you start to see the abs come in, what happens? You want to work out more.
Right.
Right? So when our situation improved, there were still things that I wanted, still things that I want today. But you know what? I'll give you an example. All right? And I tell this, I want a Corvette, right? The new one.
Oh, yeah.
I can go get one today. I couldn't get one before and I wanted it so bad. But now I have it, guess what?
It's like,
I don't even want it no more.
Yeah.
I can have $1,500, and what can I do with that? Every month?
every month.
Yeah, once you have that financial mindset, the discipline kind of takes care of itself.
Right.
All right. Making these mistakes that you hear all the time, these horror stories, it kind of takes care of itself. Because when you ask yourself, who told me that? Well, why would I listen to Telvin? It sounds good, but I need to go. Telvin needs to show me where he saw that.
Right.
Right. If you can't see it in black and white and it's just something you heard or something people are saying, I'm not saying don't listen to it.
Right.
I'm not saying miss out on the blessing, but you need to do your homework.
Right.
You need to do
research, right?
See, that just go back to what we was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That go back to what we was talking about today, right? I'm gonna put you on.
Yeah. Side note.
So we seen a video, seen a clip on EYL. Robert Smith said in the process of paying everybody's student loans off, he learned that 60% of black wealth goes towards paying off student loan debt. And you know, he was like, I don't know about that. Like, where he get this information from? He did what you did. I was like, the man is a billionaire.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna take his word for it.
Nah, that sounds like politics, man. Come on, 60% of black. Well, come on now. I don't know.
I ran those numbers myself because I saw that same article, and this is accurate, unfortunately.
Wow,
60%. Wow.
It's because of what we're told. It's because of how we're taught. It's not having access to all of the information, right? If you want to live like the top 1%, you got to behave like the top 1%.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's like number 4 or 5.
That's 10, man. She was
like,
double digits.
Yo, God.
She dropped some.
That's why I say we don't do hacks. We actually went and learned what the top 1% do.
Yeah.
Yes. So you see all this information.
Absolutely.
This is learned people in their niche. They are learned professionals, right? They're coming to you with education and knowledge and some good information for us to utilize, especially us in the military. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all doing this with us. Man, thankful. I learned a lot.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't even touch like cars.
Oh man, yeah,
stuff like that.
No,
yeah.
Guess what? They got the get the consultation.
You got 2 days trying to go through all this, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but it's so much. It's real, right? And like I said, I'm a living testimony. I got another friend in the same state with me. Testimonies working with Tal. Saw great changes. So like, it's up to you to take this information and apply it. But I once again, I appreciate you guys coming, spreading the knowledge. Go forth and do good things.
Easy.
Y'all have the for all our viewers,
free game,
listeners,
free game.
We're gonna put the link in the description. We're gonna have all the stuff in the comments, so you're gonna know how to get in touch with Telvin and Chína.
Yep. We out.
All right, y'all.